Have you ever noticed how some Google ads take up a ton of space at the top of search results, while yours kind of looks like this tiny text ad next to them? You're bidding on the same keywords, it's in the same search, but their ad has images, extra links, maybe even a call button, and yours is just a couple lines of text. The difference is not a bigger budget. It is the assets and the extensions. And if you're not using them properly, you're quietly losing clicks every single day. So coming up, we're going to go through exactly how to set up your assets, which ones you should actually be using, especially for service-based businesses, and how to avoid the biggest mistake that causes totally irrelevant images to appear in the wrong campaigns. So imagine walking down a street where every business has the exact same blank storefront. No signs, no photos, no lists of services. Then you walk past one storefront that actually looks alive. It's got clear signages, photos of their work, a list of what they offer, even a call now sign on the door. And that's exactly what the Google Ads assets do for your ads. They take your plain text ad and turn it into a fully stocked storefront, one that gives searchers more reason to notice you, trust you, and ultimately choose you. So let's break this down in simple terms. Google Ads assets, previously called extensions, are just additional pieces of information that you can add to your ads. So instead of showing up a tiny ad with a headline and 2 little lines of text, assets help you expand your ad, give people more information, and make your ad take up way more real estate at the top of Google search results. They also enhance the searcher's experience because they answer questions that people already have, like, what do you offer? Why should I choose you? Can I call you directly? What does your work look like? They're simply bonus real estate you get to fill in, and they can give your ads a huge boost in visibility and trust. Let's hop into a screen share and we'll go through how to find your assets into the account, and we'll go through what each of them are and how to apply them. Okay, so once you're in your account, to find where the assets are, just on the left-hand side menu here, you would just click Assets and then again on Assets. And you can see across the top here that there are a bunch of them to choose from. So we'll go through each of those ones one by one. The one thing I did want to point out is that you can assign assets at the ad group level, at the campaign level, and at the account level. So if you apply an asset at the account level, it is going to be applied to all of your campaigns in your account. If you apply it at the campaign level, it's going to be applied to that one campaign, but all of the ad groups in that campaign. So just be wary of that when you're applying them. For instance, if you are a landscaper that also does snow removal seasonally, and if you apply an image asset of you mowing a lawn or a beautiful garden at the account level, then if you have a campaign running for your snow removal, that garden is going to end up in your snow removal campaign, and that kind of creates that disconnect. So just be wary that you can apply them at all levels. Same thing with, for instance, the call number. If you only have one phone number that people are contacting, it's fine to apply it at the account level. But if you have multiple locations or multiple phone numbers and you have a campaign for each location, if you apply that call at the account level, it's going to apply to all of your locations. Just keep that in mind if you are applying them at the different levels. So to apply the assets, you would just click on the plus button, and then from there you can choose which one that you want to add to. You can also click into each one of these ones, and it will show you the asset and if it's at the campaign level or the account level. And you can also then click the blue plus button from here and add it in as well. And it will ask you at what level you want to apply that asset to. Okay, so the first one up is the image extension. And this allows you to upload pictures of your product, your service, the outcome of people working with you to your account. And then Google will show that alongside your account. So it generally looks something similar to this, like a thumbnail. If you have multiple images, it would come up as a carousel. You just want to make sure that the images are relevant to the campaign and the ad group that are running. So like I said, with that snow removal and landscaper company, you want snow removal images showing up with the snow removal campaign, and landscaping or gardening showing up with the landscaping and gardening campaigns. The next one is the business name and business logo, and this just lets your logo and business name show up with the ad. This can only be done after you have gone through the verification process on the platform. Until then, it won't let it happen. But when it shows up in search, it will look something similar to this. So where the little icon of the website usually is, that is where your logo shows up. And then at the top, it shows your business name. The next one is the site links. And I would say this is probably the biggest one and most important one. So you can add, I think it's up to 6 or 8 site links to each campaign now. And it is essentially a link under your ad that will take the client or the searcher to a specific page on your site, like a service page or a contact page, an FAQ page, testimonials, stuff like that. And what this helps do is it takes up a ton of space and it gives people clear shortcuts to exactly what they want with your business. And so in the search results, they can show up a couple different ways. If you're in the top space, they usually show up like this. So it is a full separate link. So you can imagine if you have 5 or 6 of those listed out, it pretty much takes up the entire top area of what people are seeing from the search results. If you are in spot 2 or 3 or lower down at the bottom of the page, it usually shows up kind of just like a link like this. But it still expands your ad even if you are in spot 2 or 3 and gives people extra things to click on as well. Next up are the headlines and the descriptions, and these are the main ad copy that you're putting into the ad when you're first creating the ad. So for instance, these ads here, this very top one that I can click on, those are the headlines, and the smaller text underneath are the descriptions. And so Google, you're giving Google like 10 to 15 of those when you're creating the ad. And so Google will rotate through them, test all the variations to kind of see which ones work really well together. But if you want to edit it or see the performance, that's where you would go for that. Next is the callout assets. So callouts are like short little benefits. Things like warranty included, free estimates, 24/7 customer support, anything that highlights why someone should choose your business over another business. And the callouts generally show up at the very end after your descriptions, and they're just short little highlight points, and they're not clickable, so people can't click on them and end up on your site. Next is the structured snippets, and there is a lot of different categories of the structured snippets that you can choose from. Again, it's just another way to highlight certain parts of your business. For instance, if you are a local business or if you serve an area rather than having just a brick and mortar in one city, you can choose neighborhoods and put in all of the neighborhoods that you service. A service catalog, if you have a lot of different services, like if you're an automotive repair shop and you do oil changes and smog checks and emissions testing, anything like that, you can pick that one. If you take insurances, you can tell which insurances you take. So there's a lot to choose from for there. And where those generally show up, again, is just at the very end, usually after the call outs. Again, it's not clickable or anything. It's just there at the very end. The next one is the call asset, and that adds a call button to your ad. And if you are a service-based business that takes phone calls, this is 100% a necessity. If you are a service-based business that only works on form fills or quotes, and you generally don't have a phone that you answer, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. But for 99% of local businesses and service-based businesses, absolutely, I would add the call asset to it. And so here on this one, you can see that it has the call us button. So that is the call asset. Sometimes it shows the full phone number too. It just, Google changes how it shows all the time, just trying to test what people like the most. The next one is a lead form and message. And these ones are relatively new. The lead forms and messages allow people to message you directly from the ad, and the lead form allows them to fill out a form, a contact form, directly from the ad. Generally don't use those two. The lead form, I have found it waters down the quality of your leads, and the message, I find that the whole thing with the messaging is speed of follow-up on both of them, with lead form and message. If you don't follow up with the lead pretty quickly, then it becomes a lost lead. So it's really hard to see the message that comes through the Google platform and connect it with your CRM. And it waters down the lead quality. In my opinion, a lot easier to push the person to the website and fill out the form there, or message you there, or have them call you directly. The next one is your location asset. And so this allows you to connect your Google business profile with your Google ads. And it also lets it so that the ads start showing in Google Maps. But in a search result, this connection of your Google business profile with the Google ads, so it pulls in some of that information, like your reviews, how many star ratings you have, how many reviews you have, your address, your phone number, your hours. And so you'll see at the very bottom here, it shows their address as well as their Google business profile number and that they're closed today. Another example would be this one. So it has actual buttons that they can then click through the website, the directions, and the call us. And if I scroll down further, you'll see this first sponsored post, and that is showing on Google Maps. And so if you are a brick and mortar business or a local business, I think the attaching your Google business profile to this is really important as well. And that's probably one that I would recommend most businesses doing as well. If you're e-com, it's not as big of a deal. The next one is price, and that one is pretty self-explanatory. It allows you to put pricing into your ads as well. Again, this isn't one that I usually run with service-based businesses. Most people don't want to go looking for price shoppers, and most of the businesses that I work with have a scale of pricing depending on the size of the project. So having a finite price in the ads doesn't help anything. The next one is the app. And so similar to the site link extension, it shows the app download at the very end. So if you have an app to download, you can do this. Usually it's just big businesses like Uber or DoorDash or something, but the app install shows at the very end, and it just lets people instantly download your app from the search results. The last one is promotion, and this one allows you to put a promo or a discount or something in your ads as well to try to entice people to contact you. This isn't one that I generally use either, although I am currently running some promo ads for a med spa, and they're working really well. But essentially what those ones look like, so this one is in as a site link. So that is not a true promo extension. They have this promo that they are running as their site link. But the promo itself will show up as a tag, and then it goes into the promo. And you can schedule a promo. So if you only have this promotion running during certain times, then you can schedule it to start and stop on certain days as well. So that is a high-level overview of the Google Ads assets or extensions. I did also want to mention that there is something called dynamic image extensions as well. And these are kind of in the legacy, so not all accounts have them. But these dynamic assets are generally assets that Google generates based on what is on your website or your online presence. So for example, the dynamic image assets, Google will pull images from your site and attach them to your ads. I typically try to avoid dynamic settings in Google because I prefer to control exactly what shows up in an ad. They can work, but they do rely heavily on having a really well optimized website. Now the big question is, do you need to use all of them? No, but you should use every asset that makes sense for your business. There is no penalty for adding more. So Google will only show the ones that are relevant for that search in that time. And for most service or local businesses, here are the essential assets that I would prioritize. Site links, these make your ad bigger, give people more direct access to your most important pages. Number 2 is callouts. So this just helps highlight your key benefits and what sets you apart from your competitor. Number 3 is the call asset. If you take calls, this is a must. It makes it incredibly easy for people to reach you. Number 4 is the location asset. So especially if you have a brick and mortar or a physical location, or you serve a local area, having your ad show up in maps is huge. And then having that extra level of trust shown to the client with your reviews or your star rating or directions or your address, it's just the more information, the better. Number 5 is the image assets. So these just help your ads stand out visually, and it does help build trust as well, especially for local service-based businesses. If you put your staff's face or your face in there, then people have a friendly face to connect with through your ads as well, rather than just the text. Next is the business name and logo. It just makes your ads look a little bit more professional, and again, builds that trust connection because they're seeing your logo and your business name in the ad, and then if they click on it again on the landing page. So everything else, like the price and the promotions, is completely optional depending on your business model and what you're offering. Lead forms, it can be tested, but again, just monitor the quality of those. And app assets only really matter if you have an actual app. The bottom line is the more relevant assets that you add, the more visibility your ad gets without spending more money. So Google Ad Assets are one of the easiest ways to instantly make your ads bigger, make them clearer, answer some of the questions that the searcher might have, make them more compelling without increasing your budget. They help searchers quickly understand who you are, what you offer, and why they should choose you over the other ads sitting in the auction as well. So you do want to try to fill out as many relevant assets as you can, keep them organized at the right level, and your ads will start working a whole lot harder for you. And if you want to see how to put all of this together into action inside of a real campaign, I've got a full step-by-step tutorial that walks you through how to set up a Google search campaign from beginning to end. So click right here and watch that next, and I'll see you over there.